Okay, we're going to do a website review of the fluidapp.com. We're going to use the StoryBrand as the lens of how we view the website. So we're not really going to talk from a design perspective. We're going to look at messaging and placement of the messaging. So we're just going to start right here on the home page. We're actually only going to do the home page. We believe the home page is the sales letter of your website. It should clearly say who you are, what problem you solve, how to contact you. Those are the things that should happen. It should be super clear. Okay, so we're going to start from the top, above the fold section. Your logo is great up here on the left-hand side. The thing about the logo is it says the Fluid app, and so it does say that it is that it is an app. It doesn't say what kind of app it is, which is fine. It doesn't need to say that. It doesn't need to say the Fluid Church app or anything like that. But because of that, people are going to start looking to the right to start to see and read more about what you do. Okay, so the first thing that we see on this page is platform. That word is a little insider language. I'm probably not going to click that link. Pricing, I probably will not click that link now, but I will in a minute once I figure out what you do. Schedule a demo. I definitely am not going to choose that unless I am interested in the product, which means I need to know what you're doing first. And then dashboard login, that does not represent anything I need because I haven't even purchased anything from you, so I wouldn't use that at all. And again, this is a sales letter. So those navigation items are value, but they don't need to be the first things people see on the page. The first things people need to see is your logo, which is great. And then if you're going to have anything over here, that's totally fine, but you need to make sure that you have an obvious call to action right up at the top. This call to action is the one from your framework, from the brand script, and that's choose your plan, right? Because what's going to happen is they're going to actually then start looking this way. And I'm going to start reading what's here. Now, I've gone through this pretty slow, but your average website user, this is moving through this fast, especially on a mobile device. They're cooking through this. So they're not going as slow as I just went. I'm going slow for demonstration purposes. So in this section here, right here where it says digital church platform, simple, powerful, affordable apps, website, web embeds, and giving. Too many words. Digital church platform, if I'm not tech savvy, I might feel like that I don't feel like it's an app, so it would almost be better if you said, we will build your church app, right? And that's really clear. Or you can say, apps should not be expensive for your church, something like that. And use your brand script as a launching pad. Use your one-liner or narrative as a really good spot to grab content for this section here. Now, I do like that you have a call to action here. My only concern is it's not as obvious as it should be. I suggest making it more obvious, so more of a solid button right there. And then let's not use the words get started today. Let's use the words choose your plan based off of your brand script. That's get started today is kind of broad. I don't really know what all that's going to be, but choose your plan is very clear and very specific on what you want them to do. Now, your schedule a demo link at the very top, I will tell you this is actually a good secondary or transitional call to action that you may also want to have below this text in another button right next to it right here that says schedule a demo. So you'll have two buttons underneath this text here, one that says choose your plan, the other one that says schedule a demo, which is great. Now I'm going to clear up the mess on this screen real fast. The picture below it is great. It does show your product. However, you might consider using an image that I can picture myself using the product. So if it's like an image of someone holding a phone and you can see the screen of the phone and you see these types of things here, that's fine too. And I know you've seen this kind of images where it's like I'm looking over your shoulder, right? And I can see this, right? I can see what on this mobile device here. Or someone sitting at their computer and they see this right here. That's fine, but try to have imagery where I can envision using the product that you offer, that I can see that my life will be easier if I'm using this this content management section of the app, right? So you can even have a picture of someone in a church, like a staff member, updating this content here. You could even do a background video, where it's kind of, it's like lifestyle video where there's a person at sitting behind a desk at the church and they're updating their app, and it's quick, and it's a video that loops in the background. So you can do that too. These images are great, but it really needs to be images where I can envision myself using the product that you offer. So again, just to recap, just above the fold, this is great. All of these here, platform, pricing, schedule a demo, dashboard, we can actually hide those. And I didn't mention that earlier. I talked about that those aren't really anything that people are going to click right away. They can stay there because they're not really prominent, or you can hide them in a hamburger menu somewhere. And I'm sure you've seen those before. Those are the little menu on the right-hand side or left-hand side of the three little lines. When I click it, it opens up a menu where all those are there. You can do that. But just as long as we have that main call to action, which is choose your plan right there, and then another one right there. And then we have that secondary schedule a demo button right there, okay? And then in the section above that where the text is, we're gonna say something like, building a church app should not cost an arm and a leg, right? Or we will build your church app so you can grow your church, or something like that, right? But something that's a little bit more personal. Digital church platform is very technical, people may not understand that. And then the picture behind it, make sure it's something that I can envision myself using your product. So lifestyle photos, get some people in there. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit further. As we scroll down, you have web products, native apps, websites, web embeds, integration, giving, TV apps. That is extremely technical. It does not help me understand how you solve my problem. So not that this information is invalid or that we don't need it, but we do need to move it somewhere else. Make it smaller. This is taking up a lot of real estate and nothing's happening from this section. What you actually need to add in this section is a value proposition section. What I mean by value proposition section is we want to use icons and graphics and bold titles and descriptions that communicate success. It explains the value you deliver your customers. And it's just a section that you'd find, let me go ahead and do this. It would be like another section below above the fold area that we were just talking about. So it would, kind of fit over here. And then in that section, you want to have some, maybe an icon, right? Another icon, and then another icon. And then you can have some text below it, right? So have some text below that explains the value proposition, the value that you offer, that saves time, saves money, increases church engagement, right? Something like that. But this is the value add in that section. So let's go ahead and remove these 6 product areas and start talking about the value that you offer those who want to do work with you. Now this section right here, although very, very nice, very cool, could be a better background, not taking up, we're taking up real estate here. This is like prime real estate for people to engage with you and purchase your product. This will not help me do that. I'm not going to click because this image is really cool. Although it's designed really well, I want to make sure you know that it's beautiful imagery, but we don't need that. That's not going to help from a design perspective. So what I would do here is I would actually list out the plan or the cost, and you can do either one. And on your brand script, you have the plan, which is the 1, 2, 3 step plan. You could also use the agreement portion of your brand script here. So instead of this image, let's add some text, maybe with some icons or some imagery right in this section here instead of this. So let's take this out of the picture, and let's go ahead and add some additional things on top of that that explain maybe the different cost levels, you know, so you know, $29, $39, $79, whatever it is, and then some text on what comes with that. You can do that there. And then below it, you would want to add some text on what the plan is, you know, the 3-step plan. So that would be, you know, choose your plan, launch your app, increase engagement of your church, right? So we want those texts, because remember, people will not buy your product just on the images. They're going to buy your product based off what they read after they've gotten on the site. So they're going to see your imagery and then they're going to read it. And are the words compelling them? So we want to talk about things right away. So you have the cost, which is also price choices. Your church, your app, your people. This is great. This looks nice, but this is what I call cute and clever, but not really clear. Your church, your app, your people. What does that mean? You understand what that means, but someone who's visiting your website may not. So up until this point, we've talked about the text and the images that relate, that are relevant to that text. So if you're going to have imagery like this is great because people are smiling, but none of these images have to do with the app that you have. It's just all smiling people. And we want people to smile, but this really just looked like you went to Unsplash and grabbed a bunch of images and stuck it there. So we want to make sure that we're clear on what we offer here. I think at this point, because we've already talked about the value, we've already talked about the cost, we've already really shared what we're doing. I think at the bottom in this section, what we need to do is offer a free downloadable PDF or give them a free resource in this section. So let's take this out, right? And let's give them a free resource here. And what you need to do in that free resource is have, you know, a section here on the left, maybe an image of a nice ebook, right? So it looks like a book with a title below it of the name of the PDF download. And then over here on the right, you know, you have some sort of form, first name, last name, email, you know, whatever it is that you want to collect, and then a submit button below it. You put some descriptive text in there, but in this section, let's give away something. Let's do something for them. Give something free to them, okay? And that's it. The junk drawer, this is what we call the bottom part here. This is fantastic. See what you did here, and I want to point this out, what you did with this platform, and you have platform, and you have apps, websites, web embed. This is great. You don't need that whole section at the top with all those images. This is perfect right here. So that's great. More links. Terms of service and privacy policy. If you can't just put those down there really teeny tiny, and then maybe offer some more value here. What are some other things you can give? This can be, you know, some free downloadable resources, a blog, something like that. Your social presence here, it's fantastic. And then about, so your phone number, and this is great. Our vision is to help people build the church through innovative technology. That's good. You can leave that there, or maybe make it go down here some. One thing I actually didn't mention, we want to make sure we do this too, is in between your free downloadable PDF and this section and the junk drawer kind of in between these two here. Let's go ahead and add some testimonies of churches that have done work with you, that value you. Find some people, some pastors, some leaders, and have them say something about you. And let's do some quotes on the homepage. All right. Well, I hope this helps from a website standpoint and clarity on messaging. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. If you want us to go a little further into the website, dig more into the different sections there, we can do that as well. Just let us know. But thanks again for trusting us. And if there's anything we can do, let us know. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.